Hey guys, welcome back on the channel. So this is Bula. Not sure if they launched only on Binance Smart Chain or if they have some other blockchains they deployed on, but this one is one of those meme coins that did quite a good run in the past, but now we are pretty far from all-time high. So this is where we are now, pretty much at the bottom, right? So with the 4-hour candle chart, we can see that all-time high was back here in summer 2025. So this is one of those meme coins that has different cycles. You see, went all the way down, bounced back, down, bounced back, down, bounced back to a new all-time high actually. Then it bled all the way down, but there are still spikes here and there. It's not a dead token, it's not a dead meme. If you've been a regular here on the channel, you know mostly I advocate for yield farming blue chips, but there are solid memes. Like once again here, back in January of this year, it spiked once again, and then it bled down, and now another spike. The thing is, these coins never truly die out. As long as there is volume, which there has been for the past day or so, at least for the past day, but we can zoom in a little bit to see this better. So it has showing some activity actually since a couple days ago, April the 6th. That's when this uptrend started, right? And I deployed liquidity at this point. So it's definitely not an all-time high like I just showed you, but in this cycle, it was the top, right? So I decided to just to test it out, yield farm a downside position, right? I'm not anticipating for the token to go up because such a big rally, there will be profits taken. So we saw that here, it managed to bounce back and break this resistance once again, and now there's some correction. The interesting thing about it, and let me show you here, actually let me go on Crystal. This is the position, right? I deployed $1. I just gathered dust that I had sitting from older tokens. I turned that all into $1 to put this into the pool and test it out, yield farming on the downside. And in not even a day, it yielded 4% overnight. So the total value right now, this is not updated because I did collect this yield and I redeployed back into the pool. I have a range, or I did set a range, something like this on the downside. It wasn't really 80%, it was 75, 70%. I'll show you that in Crystal once again, but this is what I set up as my liquidity range. And even with this recent dip, if you go here, let me zoom in just to check this one a bit better. So let's see how much it did dip, because I was pretty much yield farming on the downside, 30% down. Now, while that is a substantial hit, well, right now it's at 0% PNL, but 4%, that's how it yielded. Eventually, it will start chopping sideways, or there's going to be a bit of a comeback, and that would leave me on the green, but it's not looking too bad. I have a wide enough range on the downside, and even looking at it, and it's somewhat of a sharp decline. There was a lot of selling for sure, but as long as there is volume and we set a wide enough range on the downside, it will allow us to pretty much break even or very close to that, to the point that even if it hits the bottom once again, just by compounding back into the pool all the generated fees, they will allow us to break even. Potentially, if we just face some periods of accumulation, that's going to be even better and put us in a better position. But this goes to show the power of yield farming. So let me go back here. Crystal is cool for a number of reasons. One of these is it gives us all of these readings, different charts, liquidity distribution, how the price range has been moving. It's totally free for use. It's like I told you in my past video where I showed you about the automating with Crystal. The only thing that you pay with Crystal is when you rebalance, you compound back into the pool, when you deposit through Crystal's interface, you will pay a very small percentage of your deposit as a, let's call it a tax for using the platform. That's how they keep their business running. But you see how wide of a range I have, and this is my initial upside range, 26% above the current price. So it's a very wide range, but it just goes to show the potential of yield farming if we're not too greedy. Last year, I ran multiple liquidity pools on PancakeSwap. once they deposited on Solana to yield farm there, but I was using a different approach. I was pretty much farming at the current price with very tight ranges, which leaves you exposed to downtrends. And with these downside positions with a very wide range, if we stick with meme coins that have lasted for a long period of time, which is the case here with Bula, so this pool has been active for 9 months. I'm not sure when the coin launched, but at least 9 months ago, it was when it launched. So if we stick with these memes that have survived, that have volume, there's definitely going to be yield farming opportunities to be made. Now, of course, we do need still some volume to keep generating us fees. We will pretty much break even. That would be the safe thing about it, is that even with these downtrends, it still allows us to have a controlled exposure to tokens. And otherwise, had I started farming this with a very tight range at 10-10, 20-20 range, I would be out of range and probably at a loss. So this is the original position on Uniswap. I just compounded the fees back in. I grew this already from $1 something original deposit into the pool, and my initial was 90 something percent USDT. And of course, again, the pool does need to have volume. Without volume, definitely I do not think this would work as well. But as long as there is volume, yeah, it's going to be a safe-ish type of way to just keep generating yield. Just make sure you're going with something that has survived for a long time. Like, for example, in this case, the pool has been active for 9 months, right? So multiple spikes on the chart during that period of time show us that, I mean, on the long run, this doesn't look too good, right? But once it's bottomed out, at that point, which I pretty much think we have hit it, it's going to be a more controlled way and less risky. It's like I keep telling you, of course, the entry is going to be determinant. If we enter on a top, it's much worse than buying at a bottom and going from there. So yeah, if you have a favorite meme and it has been around for a while, you might want to test things out like so. Wide enough range on the downside. In this case, what I did was I just matched my downside range with pretty much this bottom, like something like this. Most of my liquidity, like I said, it was deployed as USDT. My surprise was that the fees made up for it, even with this steep of a decline in the chart. So that's actually what surprised me the most. At around 30% down, and still the fees generated from these red candles were enough to break even. So yeah, very interesting results with this one. I was actually looking for AI related opportunities to do this with, but I found Bula trending yesterday and I thought to give it a shot here. But yeah, in a future video, I'm going to show my favorite AI tokens to yield farm just like so. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Maybe you have been yield farming memes like this for a while, so let me also know your experience about it. I'd be interested to know your results as well. So thank you for watching, guys. I'm going to wrap this one up. Take care, keep exploring crypto, and I'll see you in the next one.